All right, I think we're recording. Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda. I'm one of the yoga teachers for Bond Fitness. And today we are going to do a yoga flow. We're going to create a lot of heat, do a lot of core stuff. But my rule is that nothing is required. You're not obligated to do any of the poses. Something just doesn't feel good. Just easing off of it, doing a modification, or not doing it at all. That's totally okay. You're more than welcome, obviously, to drink water during it. Don't feel like you have to flow the whole entire time. If you feel like you just need to catch your breath, you're more than welcome to do that. So we will get started. So if you want to meet me on the mat, we'll get started here. And we're just going to come to a nice, comfortable seat on our mat. You can do crisscross, applesauce, coming to an easy pose. If that doesn't feel good on the knees or hips, you can always try sitting up on a pillow or a block if you have it, or just taking the feet out nice and long, whatever feels best to you. But once you find your feet on the ground, maybe move around just a little bit, finding a little more connection to the earth. Slowly begin to close the eyes. I'm just trying to get any extra pent up energy. Begin to soften the body a bit more. And then maybe finding a little more stillness in the body, really rooting down through the sit bones. Lengthening the spine all the way to the crown of the head. Rolling the shoulders down the spine. Taking a big breath in through the nose. Nice exhale out the mouth. Begin to slowly push out any external stimulation, whether that's just closing the eyes, not looking around, but starting to focus, starting to slowly come inward, finding your breath. And just without judgment, see how you're feeling today. Maybe you feel a little tired. Maybe it's anxious, or maybe you actually have a lot of energy, just observing it. And then start to observe the body, see how it's feeling. Starting from the crown of the head, just make your way all the way down to your sit bones. Maybe the shoulder is a little tense. Maybe the back is a little achy. And again, no judgment. Just see what's going on. And then with every breath, sending it down to any areas of tension. See if you can let go of it just a bit more. And then if it resonates with you, you can set an intention for your practice. It can be a positive affirmation, or maybe it's releasing something that no longer serves or benefits you. Or maybe you want to dedicate this practice to someone. Whatever it is, no overthinking, whatever comes to you naturally. And just letting it be, letting it sink in for a few more moments. Observing every inhale, lengthening up the body a bit more. And then noticing every exhale, letting the body soften. surrendering. Good, we'll just take one more calm inhale in and a calm exhale out. Begin to take the chin towards the chest and slowly blink the eyes open, nice and easy. And we'll take the gaze all the way back towards center. On your next inhale, we'll sweep the arms all the way overhead, gaze looks in between the fingertips. And then exhale, just letting it go next to your thigh. A couple more times, big inhale. Exhale, letting it go. One more time, inhale up all that energy, gathering at the top, lengthening, and then exhale, release. So we're just gonna tip it over to the right fingertips, come to the mat, and we'll inhale, sweep that left arm all the way up, lengthening, reaching towards the ceiling. And then exhale, maybe tipping over a bit more, arcing that top arm overhead, and still really rooting that left hip bone down into the earth. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale all the way back towards center. We'll just tip it on to the other side. So left fingertips come down to the ground, and we'll inhale that right arm up. Nice inhale, lengthening, and then exhale, tipping over just a bit, finding your range. Just feeling that side body opening up in the ribs a bit more. And then we'll inhale all the way back up to center. And this time we'll walk our hands over towards the right. The right fingertips come behind the base of the spine, and then left fingertips coming towards like the top kneecap. And we'll inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, begin to spin from the belly just a bit more. Head and neck are the last things to spin around. Get another full breath in. And then exhale, coming back towards center. Unwinding just a bit. And then we'll just walk our fingertips towards the other side. And we'll first inhale nice and big. Exhale, just spinning around a bit more, nothing too deep. And again, inhale, just creating a little more space in the body. And then exhale, coming all the way back towards center. So we'll take the fingertips behind our back this time. And we'll inhale, lift the chest up towards the ceiling, gaze looks up. If it feels good, if you have the space already, you can lift the hips up just an inch or two if that feels good, opening up the front side of the body. And then we'll lower back down. Begin to walk the fingertips towards the front. So just see what's going on in the hips, even the quads, the low back. So this might be your range, and that's totally fine. Maybe the forearms could come down to a pillow or down to a block. And if it feels good, swaying a little side to side, letting the head and neck be nice and heavy. And if you do feel like you want to explore a bit, maybe walking the hands over to the left, see what's going on. And maybe just walking the hands over to the right side again, seeing what's going on this side of the body. Breathing through any tension you might feel. And we'll just stay here for one more breath in. And then one more breath out. And then we'll walk the hands all the way back. So either coming to a side seat or gently rolling over the knees. We're going to come to a nice tabletop. I'm actually going to face this way just for a moment. So shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, and then fingertips spread nice and wide. On your next breath in, we'll lower the belly, open up the chest, and the gaze looks up. Exhale, begin to round the upper back, belly to spine, chin to chest. Few more times. Inhale, pull the heart through, point the tailbone up. And exhale, reverse it, doming the upper back, really pressing down through the earth. And one more time, we'll inhale for a cow pose. Then exhale to a cat back. And then coming back to that nice neutral spine. So I'm going to face this way. So hopefully I'm mirroring you guys. And then we're just going to stick out our right leg, and then toes are pointed towards the front of the room. Feel a nice length in the hip area, even the legs. Keeping that left hand down, we'll inhale that right arm all the way up, looking past the fingertips. And then exhale that right hand back down. We'll walk the hands just a few steps over to the right. Begin to take the hips a little back, feeling more of a stretch in the leg. And then coming up just a bit, and we'll walk the hands all the way to the foot. Maybe that right hand comes to the calf. And we'll inhale, spiral that left arm all the way up. And then exhale, just bending over just a bit to the right. And then you don't have to be really arched. It can just be a little bit. But we're going to breathe here for one breath in, one breath out. Inhale that top arm up, and exhale, maybe bending over just a bit more. Twice more. Inhale all the way back up to center. Exhale, bend. Last time. Inhale up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, both arms up, this time reaching nice and long. Exhale, take that left hand down to the ground. And inhale that right arm all the way up. So really pressing down through that bottom arm. So this is our modified side plank. If it feels good, maybe lift that right foot off the ground, just for a little balancing. And then taking that right hip up towards the sky, just a bit more. And then exhale, we'll take that right hand back down, walk the hands all the way back towards center, and then place that right leg, right knee underneath the right hip. And we'll inhale for a cat pose. Exhale to a cat box. And coming back to a nice neutral spine, switching on to the other side. We'll extend that left leg out, and toes are pointing straight towards the front of the room. Shifting the weight into the right hand, we'll inhale, lift the left arm up, looking past the fingertips. And then exhale, take the hand back down. We'll walk the hands over just a couple of steps to the left. And then exhale, begin to press the hips towards the back of the mat. Inhale up, and then exhale, begin to walk the hands over to the foot. And then left hand comes to the calf or the thigh, and we'll spiral that right arm all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, begin to bend over to the left just a bit more. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, we'll lift all the way back up to center. And then exhale, bending just a bit more. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, leaning over. This time we'll inhale up, both hands reaching nice and tall, gaze can look in between the fingertips. Exhale, reach that right hand back down to the ground. You can always use a block underneath that right hand if you need to. And then we'll really press through that right arm all the way to the top fingertips, looking past. Core is nice and engaged. Even that bottom leg is really pressing through the ground. And then, if it feels good, maybe lift that left leg up, playing with your balance just a bit. Inhale, lift that left hip up just a bit more, and exhale, we'll take that left hand back down to the ground, and then walk it all the way back towards center, placing that left knee underneath that left hip bone. And then we'll inhale for a cow pose. Exhale to a cat back. And then coming to a nice neutral spine. So your fingertips are spread nice and wide, really pressing down through all 10 knuckles. We're gonna take that right foot, extend it back, toes pressing down through the mat. And then shift the weight towards the heel, really opening up that calf. Full breath in, full breath out. Now staying here, really engage the core. See if you can tuck that left knee into the chest, just pulling it up, rounding the upper back, just like a cat back. Holding for one breath in, one breath out. Slowly lowering back down. Right knee comes underneath that right hip. And then we'll switch to the other side. So taking the left toes back, sending the weight into that left heel, really opening up the calf. And again, start to engage the core, really pressing down through all 10 knuckles. And see if you can pull that right knee into the chest, really pressing down and up through the earth. Calm breath in, calm breath out. And slowly putting it back down, coming back to our nice neutral tabletop. We'll take our last inhale for a cow pose. Exhale to a cat back. And then coming back to a nice neutral spine. This time we're going to tuck both toes under. Engage the core. Gaze is looking straight down in between the palms. And we're just going to hover the knees just an inch above the ground. Really engaging those shoulder blades, really pressing down through the palms. Engaging the core. And we'll just stay here for one more breath in. On the breath out, we're going to take the hips, send them all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Keep the knees nice and bent first. And really extending, pressing through the hands, sending the weight towards the back. We'll inhale up onto the tippy toes. And then exhale, begin to straighten one leg, bend the other. And then switching back and forth, just playing around. Just gently opening up the backs of the legs. Stretching out the hamstrings, the calves. And then we'll find a little stillness. Maybe see if you can straighten out your legs just a bit more. Again, you can always have a nice little bend in your knees. I'd rather have you have a straight back than straight legs. And we'll inhale up onto the toes. And on an exhale, begin to take the heels down towards the mat. Again, if they don't reach, no worries. 2 more times. Inhale up on the toes. Exhale the heels down. Last time, inhale up. And then exhale down. On your next breath in, we'll bend the knees, gaze towards the top of the mat, and exhale, begin to slowly step and crawl yourself all the way to the top of the mat. Once you make your way up, just bowing over the legs. Again, nice generous bend in the knees. If it feels good, grabbing onto opposite elbows, swaying side to side into ragdoll. Keeping the upper shoulders, the head and neck nice and heavy, letting the gravity do all the work, letting go of any tension. We'll take the fingertips back down to the ground, keeping the head nice and heavy. We'll slowly roll up, one notch at a time, all the way up to standing. Once you make your way up there, roll the shoulders down the spine, inhale the arms all the way up. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on the shins. Shins are top of the thigh. And then exhale, forward fold. Twice more. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat back. And then exhale, forward fold. Last time, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down. We're just going to step back to plank pose. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower the knees and begin to bend the elbows, graze the rib cage all the way down to the belly. And then untuck the toes, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. We'll inhale, take the chest up just a bit, engage the glutes at the top, and then exhale down. Inhale, maybe a little higher this time for mini cobra, and then exhale down. And then inhale one more time, maybe to a full cobra. And then exhale down with control. We'll tuck the toes under again. Knees can stay down or maybe lifting them up. And we'll press ourselves all the way back to a plank pose, lifting the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then pedaling out the feet again. So opening up the backs of the legs. One breath in. One breath out. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. Exhale, slight bend in the knees, and we'll walk all the way to the top again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Begin to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze what's in between the thumbs. Exhale, hinge at the hips, lead with the chest, all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, and we'll step back to plank pose. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower the knees. Begin to bend the elbows all the way down to the belly again. And we'll inhale for a cobra. Stay here if this is enough. If you have the space, you can press the hips off of the ground, really grounding into the tops of the feet, for upward facing dog. And then on your exhale, we'll all meet back up into a downward facing. 2 breaths here. 1 breath. Inhale, begin to gaze towards the top mat, and exhale this time, maybe take a nice big step all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time we'll inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms, lifting the gaze. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower down all the way or halfway, your choice. Inhale for cobra, upward facing dog. And then exhale, we'll all meet back up into a downward facing dog. 2 breaths. 1 breath. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat, and exhale, either step or hop all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms, lifting the gaze. Exhale, hands come all the way down, heart center. Just begin to close the eyes just for a moment. Just refocusing yourself on your breath and your practice. Taking a big breath in. Big breath out. Twice more. Inhale in. Exhale out the mouth. Last time. Big breath in. Bigger breath out. On your next breath in, we'll sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down and either step or float all the way back. Exhale and begin to lower down. Inhale for cobra, upward facing. And then exhale, downward facing dog. So from here, we're going to inhale, begin to walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way standing, lifting the arms, lifting the gaze. Exhale, surrendering all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, begin to walk the hands all the way back out into a plank pose. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, see if you can take that right leg, place that right foot on the outside of that right hand, coming into a lizard pose. So you can always place your back knee down if you need to. But we're going to stay here for 1 breath in. 1 breath out. Slowly begin to take that right foot, meet the left. And then we're going to walk our hands all the way back towards our feet again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk the hands all the way back out to plank pose again. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, begin to take that left foot towards the top mat on the outside of that left hand. And again, you can always place that right knee down if you need to. We're going to breathe here for 1 calm breath in. 1 calm breath out. And taking that left foot back to meet the right, we'll walk our hands all the way back to our feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk the hands out this time and just into a downward facing dog. Staying here for 1 breath in. On your next inhale, we'll lift that left leg all the way up, 3-legged down dog. If it feels good, open up the hip, bend the knee, maybe roll out that left ankle, maybe circle open the hip a couple of times. Inhale, begin to straighten the legs, square off the hips. Exhale, knee to right elbow, hold. Inhale, sweep that left leg up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. One breath in. On the breath out, sweep the leg all the way up. Exhale, knee to chest or knee to nose, hold for one breath in. On the breath out, take the foot in between the hands, low lunge. And then we'll just spin that back heel down towards the ground. And on an inhale, we'll sweep and windmill the arms all the way up, warrior two. So if you need to adjust your stance, you can always make it a little shorter, a little wider, but just making sure that front heel is in line with that back arch. Front knee is stacked right on top of that front ankle or just a little behind, but not in front. Shoulders right on top of the hips. Arms nice and long. And soft gaze, looking past that middle finger. Big breath in. Bigger breath out. On your next inhale, we're going to take the hands right behind the head. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, begin to crunch that left elbow to the top of that left thigh. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Couple more times. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. The last time, inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale all the way back to warrior two. Nice long arms. Inhale, begin to reverse our warrior. Exhale, coming over to the front side into extended side angle. The forearm is pressing down through that top thigh, really creating space between the ear and the shoulders. Calm breath in. Calm breath out. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the ground. Low lunge. And the left foot meets the right. If you need to come in child's pose at any time to take a breath, please do that. Just trying to come back to your breath. That's all about yoga, is coming back to the breath. Poses are just here to challenge us. So from our plank pose, we're going to begin to take it over to our right side, coming into a plank pose. So your feet can be staggered. You can even come down into that modified side plank like we did in the beginning. Or if you want to challenge yourself a little more, maybe stacking the feet on top of each other. So really lifting the hips up, really engaging the core, engaging that side body. We'll stay here for one breath in. On the breath out, take that hand back down to mat. And either go straight into downward facing dog or take your flow, your choice. So we'll stay here in downward facing dog for 3 rounds of breath. Again, if you need to come down into child's pose at any time, please do so. I'll do one breath in, one breath out. If you are in child's pose and you're ready to come back into downward facing dog, slowly begin to meet us all the way up. And then when we're all ready, on your next inhale, we're going to begin to walk the hands all the way back towards our feet again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, begin to walk the hands out to a plank pose. And then take that left foot on the outside of the left hand, coming into that lizard pose. Full breath in. Full breath out. Gently swing that left leg to meet the right, and we'll walk the hands all the way back to our feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping all the way up to standing. And then exhale, diving down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk the hands out all the way to plank pose. This time, we'll gently swing that right foot up towards the top on the outside of the right hand. One breath in. One breath out. We'll slowly sweep that right foot to meet the left. And then walk the hands all the way back to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, always standing, lifting the arms. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Full breath in. Exhale out the mouth. Beautiful. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, diving down. Walk the hands all the way back out to a downward facing dog. Just finding your stance here, finding your foundation. When you're ready, we'll inhale, sweep that right leg up, keeping the hips square at first. And then when you're ready, open up the hip, bend the knee, rolling out that right ankle, circling out that right hip. Inhale, straighten up that right leg, square off the hips. Exhale, knee to left elbow, hold. Inhale the leg all the way up. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, sweep that right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose, knee to chest. Pull that right foot in between the hands for the lunge. And then we'll just spin that back heel down towards the ground. And then windmill the arms all the way up on an inhale. So again, checking in with your stance. Sometimes if it doesn't feel good in the hips, you might want to shorten your stance a bit, but keeping that knee right on top of that ankle still. Arms are nice and long. That right side is really pressing out to the right. Don't let the knee come towards midline. Finding that foundation within the feet, engaging the legs, engaging the arms. On your next breath in, we'll take the hands behind the head again. Inhale, lift the chest just a bit. Exhale, crunching down to the right. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Couple more times. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Last time. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale all the way back up to center. Nice long arms. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, coming over to the front side. Lifting that left top arm all the way up. Exhale, maybe extending it overhead. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the ground, low lunge. Take that right foot to meet the left into plank pose. Big through the breath in. You know where we're going. On the breath out, you're going to lift the hips up a bit. Begin to spin over to the left side. Open up that right arm. So again, if you want your feet staggered, maybe on top, or even if you need to come down into a modified plank pose. Whatever feels good and is just a little bit challenging, but not where you're feeling like you're going to pass out. As long as you're with your breath, you're doing it right. So inhale, lift the hips up just a bit higher. Exhale, take that right hand back down to the mat, going straight into downward facing dog, or take your flow. And again, we'll stay here for 3 rounds of breath. If you need to come into child's pose, please do so. 2 more rounds. 1 more round. If you're in downward facing dog, we'll gently bring our knees back down to the ground. Big toes touch. Take the knees out as wide as comfortable, and we'll sit our heels back down to child's pose. Let the forehead come down to the ground, just for a breath. On an inhale, really inflate the belly between the legs. Nice big breath in. On the breath out, emptying it out. Let's just do that one more time. Big inhale in. And then exhale out. On your next breath in, we'll just begin to walk the hands all the way back to the knees. And then just coming to a side seat, we'll take the legs out in front of us. Maybe recenter ourselves onto our mats. So before we go on to our next little phase, we're just gonna shake out the legs a bit. If you need to gently just kind of shake out the calves or the thighs. Sometimes I like to gently just massage them. Sometimes our muscles get a little cramped up or just need a little more energy to flow through them. And you get a nice little breather here. All right, so when you're ready, we're going to bend both knees. And at first, we're going to take our hands right behind us. So this may be enough. Right here, just engaging the core. You can use the fingertips or the palms to brace yourself. If you feel like you can move on a bit, maybe take the toes to the ground instead of the whole soles of the feet. Take the toes. So really engaging the core. And then on your next breath, maybe take 1, maybe take 2 feet up into our modified boat pose. So if you have any low back problems, just trying to keep your hands on the ground, that'll really give your low back support. So from here, if you feel okay, maybe place 1 or both hands out in front of you into our boat pose. And again, really engaging the core. And then rolling the shoulders down the spine, opening up the chest. We'll breathe here just for a couple of breaths. Again, you can always come down to any variation that you need. On your next breath in, we're going to inhale, lift the chest just a bit more. And then exhale, begin to lower down. You can always, again, have your hands behind you. We'll inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. So just doing this, following your breath. Now I know sometimes when we actually exercise, we like to go fast because we want to do more reps, but really right here, I want you to try to be in sync with every breath. The slower you go, the harder it is. Trying to be mindful of every movement. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Just a few more times. And every time you come up, really opening up the chest up as much as you can. Couple more times. Once you make your way up, you can grab onto your ankles or your calves if your hands are behind you. Just coming to a nice active rest. And then we're just going to stay here in boat pose, so maybe not grab your calves anymore or fingertips still behind you. We'll do our last one, only if it feels good. See if maybe you can straighten out both legs. If not, no worries. And if you are straightening, if you do feel a little shaking, that's okay. That's just your muscles working for you, no big deal. Full breath in, full breath out. Lower the feet back down to the ground, grab a hold of the shins. Inhale, pull the chest through the legs. And then exhale, rounding in. Let's just do that a couple more times. Inhale. And then exhale, round. Last time, inhale forward. And then exhale back. So we did a lot of crunching the front body. So we're going to kind of reverse that. So take the hands right behind you. Place the feet underneath the knees. And then we'll inhale, lift the hips up. Reverse tabletop. Let the hips open up just a bit. Let the chest open up. Taking nice big inhales, deeper exhales. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly come all the way back down. Taking the legs out nice and long. You can grab a hold of the legs or use your core. And we're just going to come all the way down onto our backs. So once you make your way there, just begin to stretch out just a bit. Letting the arms and the legs be nice and long. And then when you're ready, begin to pull in that right knee into your chest, grabbing hold of that shin or even behind the thigh if that's more accessible. And then see, maybe if you have the space, begin to gently guide that knee towards the right, like towards your right armpit, opening up the hip just a bit more. You can point and flex the foot, circling it out. Always want to make sure our joints have fluidity in them, getting movement, not staying static. And then you're ready. Take that knee back towards midline. We'll take that right arm into a half T. And then exhale, begin to gently guide that right knee down towards the left. Right shoulder still stays onto the ground. Gaze looks over to the right fingertip. Maybe closing the eyes a bit. Just letting this twist or just unfolding naturally. Letting the body soften. Letting any tension that might have built up, just let it go. When you're ready, we'll gently take that right knee back into the chest, give it a nice good squeeze. And then sending that right leg down to meet the left. And then again, we'll take a nice big stretch, lengthening the legs, the torso, the arms. And then exhale, bring that left knee in towards your chest, grabbing hold of the shin or the back of the thigh. Pointing and flexing the foot, rolling it out, that feels good. And again, if you have the space, maybe gently guiding that knee towards the left, opening up the hip. Again, let's just do one more breath here. And we'll guide that knee back towards midline. Take the left arm out into a half T. We'll slowly guide that knee down towards the right, keeping that left shoulder onto the ground. Gaze is looking over to the left fingertips, even closing the eyes. Taking nice big inhales in. Deeper exhales out. A nice little internal massage for the organs. The twist is always good for detoxing the body. So just letting the earth support you where you are. When you're ready, we'll slowly take that left knee back into the chest, give it a last good squeeze. And then we'll send that leg down to meet the right. And we'll come into Shavasana, our last resting pose. If you need to put a pillow or rolled up blanket underneath the knees or even the neck to support you, you can do that. You can even put a blanket over you if that feels better. So just letting the feet spread out naturally, letting the arms connect down to your side. Palms facing up, radiating towards the sky. And then tucking the chin just a centimeter in to lengthen out the back of the neck. Once you've settled, just taking a big breath in, maybe the biggest breath you've taken in all day. Pause at the top. And then exhale, letting it go nice and slow. Begin to relax the toes, the soles of the feet and the ankles. Relaxing the calves, the knees, and the tops of the thighs. Softening the pelvis, the hips. And then letting this peaceful sensation flow all the way up through the spine, into the belly, into the chest. Melting the shoulders down into the earth. Relaxing the arms all the way down to the fingertips. releasing any tension you may have left in your jaw, and then softening the space between your brows, letting yourself become one with the earth, one with the source, and one with the self. When you're ready, slowly coming back to the room, back to your body, back to your natural pace of breath, wiggling out the toes and the fingertips, and taking a nice big stretch like you're waking up in the morning. If it feels good, rolling over to your favorite side into fetal pose. Once you make your way there, taking a nice big breath in and a bigger breath out. Now at the bottom of the exhale, slowly begin to press yourself all the way to a comfortable seat. And once you arrive, taking the hands to heart center, bowing the chin in gratitude for taking this time not only for yourself, but for your practice as well. And I thank you just for showing up and letting me guide you today. And I thank you just as your body and your mind and spirit thank you as well. I hope you all feel a little more stronger, a little more brighter, and a little more at peace. Namaste. Well, thank you everyone for coming out today and just meeting me on your mat and just giving it your all. I appreciate all and every one of you. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, beautiful rest of your week, and enjoy your weekend as well. Bye, everyone.